Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day from whatever you are in the world listening to the sound of my voice. You're welcome to this channel once again, Pleasant Creeks, and I'm reaching you with glad tidings. I've come with great stories or with things we can talk about basically, and let's get rolling. So today I'll be talking about my candidate for the Nigerians upcoming Nigerians general election, and I'm talking about the president. Basically, my philosophy or my belief is that leadership starts from the top. I don't believe in this bottom to top kind of leadership where you grow. I mean, we grow generally from the bottom, but basically my own belief, and you are free to tell us what your opinions are in the comment section. But basically, my belief is that if we have one good president, devoid of corruption, devoid of nepotistic tendencies, devoid of religious ethnic sentiments, Nigeria will be better for it. He or she will surround themselves with the right people in terms of his special advisors, ministers, his assistants generally, and those people would carry out his directives, if I would say, and his plans, his purpose. I mean, his proposals basically, and make the country a better place. That's my own philosophy. You might believe that whoever wants to be a president must start from the very bottom, start from being a councillor or whatever, a chairman, become a House of Rep, assembly member, blah blah blah, and then crawl up. But again, you'd tell me how many people in Nigeria have become presidents that actually rose from those ranks. Very few, very few, in fact. So, and there is no how do I put it? There is no standard or rule book that says it must always be like that. So let's dive in. Like I said, I'll be talking about my candidates for the 2023 general elections in Nigeria coming up next year, 2023, with the tenure of the current president, General Muhammadu Buhari. His tenure coming to an end next year by May 29th, will be swearing in a new president. And as such, electioneering activities have already begun, and people have begun to indicate interest. And it's a great mix of people coming up showing interest. But I'm going to talk about a few today, very few that have actually piqued my interest, and I want to share those people with you. They might also be the same people you were rooting for. They might be the same the people you don't want to hear about. There might be people you might be okay, maybe not. I'll make up my mind when the time comes or when the days get closer. But basically, these are my people, or the people I think I've looked at so far, and I feel I'm comfortable with to a large extent if they come, if either one of them or any of them become presidents. So I'm going to begin with there are three people actually, and I'm going to tell you who they are one after the other. And the reason I'm telling you this is to help you make up your mind. If your mind is not made up, if you don't know who you want to vote for, you might begin to research into these people. So I'm not trying to force my opinion on you or trying to say that these are the people you must exactly vote for. I'm not Adolf Hitler. I'm not an autocrat or whatever. I'm not a shaman. I'm here to just tell you to guide your opinion. So when I mention these three people, go do your research more and find out if these people would deliver the goods or have the capacity to deliver the goods. If you think not, then you can cross over to whoever you think might be. But this is just my choice, and I wish everybody would, you know, do some digging because election time is not a time to just say, "Oh, this guy is from my place, is my religion, this is what blah blah blah." No, 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 no. It's time for us to actually dig deep and go deeper than we normally would to find out who these people are, their pedigree, what they stand for, what's their philosophy, what they've achieved in the past, what they can do, and what they will do, what they are saying they will do, what are the antecedents. It's very important They say fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. What have been their associations over these years? How consistent have they been? If they have been in in a gathering of very corrupt people, unserious minded people, then you would know that they'll be unserious, even though they come with their gibberish and tongue twisting and try their best to convince you or try to cajole you. You'll be able to sift the wheat from the chaff. So that's why I'm bringing you my first candidate. Will be Peter Obi. So Peter Obi, doctor, was Anambra's past governor 2 terms ago. He actually handed over to Obiano. So he was a governor in Anambra State. He's a member of the PDP, and he's coming out this time to be vying for the position of the president of Nigeria. The last election in 2019, he came out as vice president to candidate to Atiku Abubakar. They both lost that election to Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Oshibajo in the elections. And yeah, so they came out second basically. And Buhari continued his second tenure. So Peter Obi is from Anambra State, like I said. He's been a businessman and he's still a businessman, a very prosperous businessman. He was also in the banking sector, I think in Fidelity Bank. He's run several companies. His business acumen is there for us to see. And he ran the state government of Anambra State during his tenure as a businessman. As a businessman, and as every governor should. Right now, I'm not going to quote statistics and figures with you because many people are so biased when it comes to those figures. People would dispute them, people would laugh, people would say whatever. But he said so many things. Go verify how much he left behind, how much projects he actually accomplished. Those were there to see. So that's my first candidate. He's very well educated. His financial acumen is top notch. So right now, especially with inflation, with a lack of jobs, infrastructure, and all those key drivers of economy, I think we need somebody like Peter Obi. Peter Obi would definitely transform Nigeria's economy. I believe that, and that's why I think he has a very high prospect, a very high chance of becoming the president of Nigeria, if we would give him the opportunity to become a president, if we would give him the opportunity, because we are the people, we are the ones with the power. As much as possible, people would say, oh, they've already determined, oh, in 2019, whoever thought, or prior to that, whoever thought that Goodluck Jonathan was going to lose the election to Muhammadu Buhari, who had lost 3 times prior to that election? Whoever thought when PDP said, oh, we'll be here for 50, 60 years and nobody's going to take power from us? Did anybody anticipate that they were going to lose power? Nobody did. So even if it looks like rigging is the order of the day, as much as we as a people stand and decide that we will come out and mass to vote and make our vote count, it will count. Vote so much, like I said previously, that these people cannot read because they will discover that they don't have the numbers. Even when you go to court, they don't have the numbers. That's how it should be now because we're fighting for the soul of Nigeria. So the second person I would want to bring forward is Kingsley Moghalu, also from Anambra State. Maybe I love Anambra State today. I don't know, but maybe it's because of the Ofoma bread that they sell. You know, the nice bread they sell at the, is it the Head Bridge or the Niger Bridge? Maybe not, but I'm sticking with Anambra today. So Kingsley Moghalu is a doctor, a professor basically of law, an economist, political economist, and he actually was a former deputy governor of the Nigerian Central Bank. He was in charge of the policy that actually helped stabilize Nigerian banking sector. causing many of the banks to merge, consolidate, and give them a strong financial footing that made some of them stronger than they were before until now are still in existence. Some fizzled out because they had no base, no foundation, and they just crumbled. He has also worked with the United Nations for donkey years. His educational prowess, acumen, and all that in economy, in political economy especially, is there for us to see. Go search this guy out, dig his profile, look through, and make up your mind. This guy is sound. When he speaks truth. So please look at him and make your choice. My third candidate would be Omoyele Sowore. Omoyele Sowore is from Ondo State, the riverine part of Ondo State. I think he's also been a permanent resident of the United States of America, just like Mogali used to be, or still is. However, he's been in Nigeria for a while now because he was in detention for almost 2 years or over 2 years for some flimsy judgments. The government of Nigeria actually suing him because he talked about revolution now protests, even though he wasn't calling for violence, but it was interpreted deliberately to say he meant to say violence. A man who had not even won AK-47 bundled away from his house by Nigeria's secret police, and then he was taken to jail. Even when his brother died in the hands of marauders for which he's fighting against and trying to propagate the safety of Nigerians, he was not allowed to physically attend the burial of his brother. He is the publisher of Sahara Reporters, which is actually a citizen-based journalist platform that brings the news raw to Nigerians as it should be, giving us what we need to know, even though the bigger TV stations, news outlets in Nigeria will not bring or dare to bring the truth to people. They would sugarcoat it and also and all that. Omoyele Sowore has been a student activist way back about 30 years ago at the University of Lagos. He stood by Chief MKO Abiola at the 1993 election, which was adjudged Nigeria's best, freest election ever. He has been an activist for good causes, for human rights, for good governance, for freedom, liberty, and liberation of the Nigerian people. He is also, or was also, a lecturer in the university, in a university in the United States of America. So that's my three candidates: Omoyele Sowore, Peter Obi, and Kingsley Moghalu. 2 Anambrarians and 1 Ondolite. Now, I'm not saying this because of anything other than I believe these people. Now, people would say, what's their pedigree? Have they been local government chairman? Have they been this, blah, 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 blah? I'm telling you, you don't need that. You just need a good driver to drive you. That's it. That's it. Okay? So, let's try our very best. Research these people. I know there might be other good people out there. You can also research them. All I'm saying is make up your mind on the basis of what you know will be right for now and in the future. We don't need mediocres. We don't need someone with a high school certificate. No, we don't need someone who cannot read or write, who's not cut for the job, basically, who's not ready right from the day one. They go. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so apart from these 3 people I mentioned and talked about, of course you're free to also, make up your choice, like I said, and I'm still saying. There are a group of other people that have indicated interest. We've seen Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the former Lagos State governor, and godfather of Lagos, godfather of APC, the kingmaker, they say. And we've seen Ayim Pius Ayim, the former Secretary to the federal government, and former Senate President of Nigeria. We have seen the Vice President, the current Vice President, Professor Yemi Osibajo, who has also declared his interest to run. We've seen Atiku Abubakar again coming up controversially, despite the fact that his party, PDP, had given him the ticket, or he won the ticket last election 2019, for which it was zoned to the north to favor him, basically. And now they're talking about this time a consensus candidate, all in a bid to also still favor him. And it's causing acrimony in the party. That's Atiku Abubakar. Now we also have Dr. Bukola Saraki, former governor of Kwara State and former president of the Senate of Nigeria's Federal House. And of course, we have Right Honorable Rotimi Chibike Amechi, the former governor of Rivers State, 8-time Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Now, all these people have had one thing or the other to do with the APC or the PDP. Either they crossed carpet or they are still in the same position where they used to be, but basically they've ruled under either of these parties. What's my take? Now, I don't have anything against these people, maybe a few, but the fact is that let these people go rest. Let them take a chill pill and sit down somewhere. They've been part, maybe not responsible directly, but part of the corruption that have plagued our country since 1999. I'm canceling out all the military periods, but I'm talking about since 1999 when we returned back to democracy. These people have had their hands tainted in one form of corruption or the other. Either it passed under their table, under their watch, or they were too lenient, or they were active participants. As a result, they should take a chill pill. Pack yourself and go one side. We don't want you. That's my opinion. These people have been there for how long? They've not been able to create the level playing field for Nigerians to participate in real democracy. In their parties, they don't even have internal democracy. Okay? So how then? Okay, except for a few, I would say maybe Amechi, maybe Tinubu, in terms of governing their state. But at the end of their tenures, what was the plight of the people? Okay, I don't want to go deep into specifics because I don't want to make this video too long. But research these people. I'm talking about Tinubu. I'm talking about Atiku Abubakar. I'm talking about Ayim Pius. I'm talking about Osibajo. I'm talking about Atiku Abubakar's Dr. Saraki. And I'm talking about Rotimi Amechi. Look at these people. What are their pedigrees? Yes, they're political heavyweights in the word of, in the context of Nigerian political system. But how much have they really transferred or translated their political heavyweightness or whatever to become real leaders in Nigeria? I'm not talking about leaders of thugs or leaders of tribalistic people. Tell me in the comment section, drop your comments. Let's see. Let's hear what you have to see or say rather. So I'll also call a few names, a few great names that I admire. Dr. Olusegun Aganga, Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina, Professor Pat Utomi, Rewani Bismarck, Chukwuemeka Chikelu, and Frank Wike Jr. There are many other people. I believe that these people, out of them, can come a vice president to a Peter Obi, to a Kingsley Moghalu, to an Omoyele Sowore. Let me say something about Omoyele Sowore that people don't know. This guy has a permanent residency of the United States of America, a land where many people want to go. He has his family there. He has nothing to lose if he leaves Nigeria this minute and say, "Oh, Nigeria, I'm done with you. I'm gone." There's nothing he would lose. Trust me. But he's here in Nigeria fighting for the cause of the common man, and people are not rallying in their millions behind him. What is he saying that is different from, the truth? He's speaking truth to power, but you'd rather believe a lie. You'd rather believe a lie. How much of the lies would you believe and hold on to? Rather than truth. The truth will set you free. The truth will break the yoke of bondage in your life. What is the bondage in your life? Lack of electricity for over 20 years. A country that is more than 200 million people still struggling to generate 7,000 megawatts. When I know a city that is less than 1 million people generating over 760 gigawatts for export and local consumption. What are we talking? The things Nigeria need are not much. We're talking about electricity, infrastructure, security, good and sound foreign policy. Now, these people, Kingsley, Peter Obi Omoyele will give you good, sound local and foreign policy. What is our foreign policy? A Nigerian is locked up abroad. It takes forever to get to that person. Even when they are members of the consulate is beaten up in different parts of the eastern part of the world. And it takes a long time. People are leaving the country en masse. They prefer to go through the desert and die in the Mediterranean Sea because life has become so unbearable. So unbearable. This has been the legacy of the APC party. People have been leaving the country for a long time now, but in the past 7 years, it's been worse. What's the price of crude? What's the price of products of crude? Just last week, over, depending on who you listen to on the news, at least 200 people died in Imo State from an explosion because of illegal refining activities. We have 3 large refineries, Kaduna, Warri, and Port Harcourt, refining zero crude. And then you tell me that with the price of petrol going so high, no electricity, people have to run generators to run their businesses and their houses, to keep cool, to keep to cook, to do all sorts, getting what they call it now, natural gas to cook. It's expensive. People resort to firewood, which causes desertification, and then flooding, erosion. One thing you do here causes several other things on the other side. Nigerians are not asking for too much. Like I said, we need electricity. The ripple effect of that is jobs. Things will just fall in place naturally. Give electricity. Artisans will begin to manufacture jobs. Okay? Because the cost of running and doing business in Nigeria is too much. Corruption. Several agencies of government will tax you. Tax the living hell out of you. And then when you put your prices, the common man cannot afford them. If it's essential, they have to steal to be able to afford it. Healthcare, hospitals have to run generators, large generators. How much is diesel? Diesel is 600 naira plus a liter, if you can find it. So you have to perform an operation on a patient. The generator have to be on for 12, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever how many hours the surgery is going to take place. And then when the bills come, a surgery that should take maybe 80,000 naira, you're talking about 500,000 naira, because most of those monies are going to overhead cost. Running costs of the businesses or the hospital or whatever it is. Restaurants, the same thing. Barbing salons. Small scale businesses. Infrastructure. When you create infrastructure, jobs would naturally flow. People will be involved in construction. People will be involved in restauranting businesses. I mean, maintenance, supply, the supply chain business. People will be involved in that. Okay? Security, secure. I mean, from the top to the bottom, east and west of Nigeria is ranked with insecurity of various sorts. In the east is ESN, kidnapping, marauding, Fulani people killing people in the villages here and there. Same in the south, kidnapping is rampant, ritual killing all over the country. In the west, it's Yahoo or whatever they call them. I mean, duping people, killing people here and there. In the north is massive Boko Haram, Islamic State, and ISWAP. Whatever African province or whatever they call themselves. Ethnic clashes here and there, religious riots in Kaduna, in whatever. Kidnappings is just that. The headsmen are doing this. Secure the country. Secure the country. With security, there'll be foreign direct investments. People will come to invest. I mean, according to Business Insider, just last week, Nigeria still ranks, despite all the stresses we're facing, Nigeria still ranks #1 as the best place to do business, invest in Africa. So just imagine if we had our security right, we have our power situation fixed, and everything is running smoothly. How much more investment, how big of an economy we would have. We're not talking about economy on paper where the happiness index is 0 or next to nothing, where people are miserable. It's not just about the size of the economy. It's the largest in Africa, but the people are miserable. I mean, damn miserable. Malaria is still killing people like crazy. Come on. People still hunt for bushmeat. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a delicacy, but people survive on that. With the advent of the coronavirus and novel viruses that we know that are inbred in most of these bush animals, should people be considering all these delicacies right now? Of course not. But because this is the only alternative they have. Corruption needs to die. In the words of Buhari, he said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us. And we can see how corruption is it's killing the country. It's killing the country. I'm speaking with passion because Nigeria is my motherland. Nigeria is my country, and as such, I cannot fold my hands. I have to do my bit. Just like I'm encouraging everybody right now, go get your PVC if you haven't. Make up your mind to vote. That's the first step. And then decide on which candidate you're going to vote for from top to bottom. Not because they've come and give you 500. Shove it in their ass. Sorry for that. But that's how it is. Don't take their poison. They give you 500 naira, 2,000, 10,000, whatever it is, and then they impoverish you because you're going to pay back. You are going to pay back that money over 4, 5, 3 years, whatever, how long they're going to be in office. They're going to milk you dry. Don't you discover that their salaries, their wages, their benefits never go down? It goes up, despite the fact that there's inflation. But your salary, it doesn't mean anything because you can afford to live the lifestyle you want. The average lifestyle. Having food, basic health care, transportation. People are still talking about the 3 basic needs of man. Oh, it's food, clothing, shelter. What about communication? What about transportation? If you cannot conquer or have not conquered that in 2022, you're a dark nation. That's just what you are. And corruption. We're losing too much. Lives at the end of the day is what we're losing because of corruption. Monies that should go to the hospitals, for staff welfare, our doctors are leaving the country in droves, engineers. The best people would always leave because immigration to other countries legally would be only by educated people. Massive brain drain. If you have the means, you discharge. You leave. You jackpot, as they say. People are dying because of abject poverty. Nigeria became the world capital of poor people. A country with millions of standing cubic feet of gas, of crude oil, of bauxite, of rubber, timber, palm oil, fishes in the ocean. Our or our river ocean resources is vast. What are we talking? Bitumen. Go to Ondo State. Cocoa. Well, Ondo State is trying now to export chocolate, processed, finished chocolate to the United Kingdom now. What are we talking about? Our petrochemical industry. Comatose. Do you know how many people the refineries would employ? Every year we keep churning out graduates of all sorts. Chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical, civil, computer engineers with no jobs, and that's why they turn into life of crime, petty crime. Most of these armed robbers and kidnappers and all this, they are all educated people. They're not dullards. And I'm not saying or advocating that because there's no job, so you go carry a gun. You can't inflict your misery on other people because they are also in misery too. You kidnap somebody for ransom and they go sell all the mega resource they have. Some die of high blood pressure because they can take it, they can afford whatever is being called as ransom. The government is doing nothing. Come on. We must, as Africans, as Nigerians, value life. Okay, looks like I've been preaching too much. Thank you for listening to me today. Again, my name is Abiola, and if you've not subscribed to this channel, please press the subscribe button. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't bite. Subscribe to this channel, click on the bell notification icon so that when new videos are uploaded, you'll be the first to know. Like it, give it a thumbs up, share it on all platforms as much as you can. Thank you very much. Again, it's a Mogalu, it's a Peter Obi, Omoyele Showore. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening, and see you next time. Cheers.